Welcome back to Tony and Tina's Wedding, Creating a Theater Tribe. I'm Larry.
I'm Gret.
And I'm Concetta.
Today we venture over to the groom's side of the aisle as we visit with two original members of the Nunzio family tree.
As Tony's younger brother, Johnny, Eli Ganias created a truly charming and approachable character that audiences have loved for decades.
While Denise Moses created the spunky Grandma Nunzio, matriarch and ruler of the trailer behind the animal kingdom.
So play some 90s rap.
And take a doggy bag for Poncho.
Enjoy episode 11.
I just would like to say that it makes me so happy today to welcome Eli Ganias, who played the original Johnny in Tony and Tina's Wedding way back when, and Denise Moses, who played his grandmother, Grandma Nunzio, way back when we opened the show in New York City. Did you both do Carmelitas? Yeah, you both did Carmelita. Oh, you survived Carmelitas. She's coming on in just a few minutes. She wanted to see both of you.
Great beyond.
I'm sure.
I remember the sewing machines in Carmelitas.
You know, I never went backstage. I was afraid. So I had too much to do out front. And people would come out and they'd say, there's 50 sacks of flour, or there's sewing machines. And I was like, are there dead bodies? I mean, it was the most unusual place, second floor of a building on 14th Street, right above Disco Donuts. And this is where we all began. Eli, let's begin with you.
All right.
Well, I have a question right away. Actually, it's for both of you, but both roles, script-wise, don't have a lot of formal scripted moments. So when you guys were beginning, where did you start when you were trying to find these characters, these people? Where did you start from? Because, I mean, were you even starting with a script to begin with? No, right? Not really.
The church was pretty scripted.
Yes.
And then the party, we worked out timelines and everything went off the band.
Right.
And we had a certain amount of time to do whatever. And then when some song hit, we needed to drop what we're doing and get to point B. Especially like in the first moments when we get in, there's the thing, I actually recommended this and it stayed, the snowball.
Is that Greek? Is that a Greek thing?
No, my college roommate I was talking about the wedding and he goes, oh, you should do snowball. And I went, what's that? And he told me. And then I went to the rehearsal the next day. He said, oh, we should do snowball. And he go, what is that? Well, the leader says snowball and people split up and then grab someone and that will just get everybody involved. Yeah. So that was my first gift to the party. I'd worked with Nancy a little before. It's where I met you, Larry, with these shows she did at some hotel cabaret or something.
Jason's Park Royal, yeah.
Right, that was it. And the show was called Catharsis or Cathartic something.
Yeah.
So I had been doing stand-up, and Nancy's roommate I worked with at my day job, and the roommate came to see me do this stand-up, which wasn't very good, but she said, oh, he was great. And Nancy said, you should do stand-up in my shows I'm doing. And I did, and they went pretty well. But then people, at one point, they said, well, everybody's a character. Who is this guy? What is he? Is he a character? Is he a real dude? I didn't get it. And then Nancy came to me and says, okay, we're going to bring you into a character. And I did a bit with the late, great Jack Friss in one of these things. And then from there, I kind of stuck around. They liked me enough. And then it went from that to the Vicky Auberjohn shows at the ballroom. And then from that, Nancy walked up to me and says, we're doing the wedding again, which I had seen in an earlier incarnation. And said, we're doing the wedding again. You're Tony's brother, Johnny. Boom. That was it. And then we got together and started doing the stuff, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it. And the accent came pretty easy, you know, Brooklyn, Queens, New York, that kind of thing. And I had worked with a mailroom guy who was from Brooklyn, the whitest, like a white Irish kid, and he was totally into rap music. So I thought that would be my character. I'd be a white kid in the mid 80s into rap music. And then from there, it just kind of rolled, and working with Mark and with James Altuner and Mark Campbell we became this, the groomsmen and the group. And backstories came out of rehearsals and a bunch of stuff.
The interesting thing I think about Johnny, though, is that Johnny didn't really want to go into the strip club business. Did he? He wanted to.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. Trying to think of how that came up. I don't remember it being a thing. I think I was into hair care. I think was the joke.
That stayed.
Yes.
That stayed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Johnny wanted to be a hairdresser or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although, yeah, so that was, I'm not sure where the strip club, I know it was there and Madeline was there, but yeah, no, so it was not a thing that I was being groomed for, certainly.
Right. But you were being groomed to be able to take care of Grandma Nunzio.
Oh, out the way. We got to carry Grandma up the stairs to get her into church. And Denise is just legs up, arms up, and we're carrying her. Got one arm under I think a buttock. Get out the way.
Move, get out.
Denise, you were fabulous because you had no shame. You were just like, I'm an old, incontinent, crazy woman. Get me in the church.
And in LA especially, Sister Albert Maria would always take me into the ladies' room because Grandma Nunzio had a bladder issue. And we had a whole act that we did in there with people who would come in. And we were in the stall doing lines. Now, it was hysterical.
Well, the bathrooms were wonderful.
Well, first of all, they were very nice. Some of the nicest bathrooms I've been in. So who wouldn't want to spend time with me?
But they provided a lot of fun places to do interesting bits.
Exactly. Because anywhere you went in the space, something was happening with someone. So even if you went into the ladies' room, you'd see a show.
Right. Okay, so first let's talk about the relationship between Grandma and Johnny.
Well, Grandma, of course, depends a lot on Johnny. At Gus's, some guests decided they were going to see if Grandma was really old. And I was standing by a table. They came up behind me and lifted up my dress. Of course, I had on black tights, but as Grandma, I couldn't turn around and hit them because I'm 87, I'm too weak. So I called over my grandsons, including Johnny, who came over and beat the crap out of them.
Theatrically speaking.
Yeah. Allegedly.
Yeah. That was great because Denise was certainly vulnerable and Sister Albert Marie was vulnerable in certain ways because Denise had to play frail and Sister Albert Marie was a nun. So people had fetishes and they needed to act out. So we were always on alert that we would need to be kind of at the ready.
Right.
People weren't that way, but there were, a couple of jokers would.
We had
fun.
people. And then Teresa Hagar, she would get involved and she'd threaten them to the end of their life.
Yeah, she was faster than us. Yeah, she was quicker
stage
than us.
manager. She was tough.
And I think it was Vinnie Floriani who taught me some curse words in Sicilian, so I could rattle out "Batte di camminado, sono invecchiana." Over and over, I would yell at him.
The two families were so different, which was lovely. But you and Uncle Louis got along, of course.
Yes. We were the old people there, so
Right.
It's like sitting at the kids' table. We're at the old people table.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that Juan and I have pictures on our refrigerator of you and Uncle Louis sitting there talking together, which are just like these adorable photos. But Chris, as Mr. Nunzio, could be very volatile. And I remember, Eli, I don't know how long we played it, but there was a scene when he really came after you. You had done something that he didn't like or something happened. And I always felt very afraid for Johnny during those moments.
It was intense. It was never a warm relationship between the characters. But what made the event for us both was Tony and his day. So that was the overriding driver between the two of us, but you'd always be there'd be not a smack so much, but a comment or a slight or even being ignored was probably the worst in the characters,
Right. Right. Yes. Because you were young and you were whatever.
I mean, I wasn't even the best man. I mean, what's that about?
Right.
Right?
I'm his
Right.
brother. What's up?
Yeah.
Right.
But,
Right.
Yeah.
And then I remember for a while there, and I don't think that they do it anymore, but there was a story about your mother. Do you remember about with the two matches? Was that done behind his back?
Maybe. I don't recall that, actually.
Who's this? They'd light the two matches and they'd go up and they'd say, "Who's this? Vi Nunzio?" Because the story was that she ran out of Nunzio's house with her hair on fire.
Oh my God.
God, I forgot all about that.
Wow.
Remember that?
I'm thinking.
That is so brutal.
I don't know if it's a strong suggestion. I'm starting to remember something like that. There was something. Yeah. It was dark. There was some dark moments in our family.
Well, but it was that darkness that really made the play's comedy pop. You all did not play your roles for laughs. Sometimes, if it was capable, we always got a laugh, but it was earned through playing the reality. And those kinds of moments, listen, Chris was tough. He was a tough father, and yet he was all swagger. But didn't he want to lock you up in the trailer with the chihuahuas?
Yeah, he just wanted to pawn me off, have somebody else take care of me. Madeline, of course, was great with Grandma. She loved Grandma, and Grandma loved her. But yeah, Mr. Nunzio could care less about his mother, really. I mean, he had to, but it was a responsibility he didn't want.
Yes, and you were very good to Madeline, always pulling her skirts down. To make it just a
And
little
pulling
bit
her
lower.
dress up.
And pull her
Put up. Put your hand over that. Put your hand over that.
Oh.
Give her a
Oh my God,
napkin to
like-
tuck in.
Yeah. What was it like being young? And see, I've never known the characters to be different from their ages in real life. I've only ever met older people to play Uncle Louie and Grandma and so on. So what was it like being so physically young and the challenge of playing somebody so old?
Well, one of the reasons that I think Larry suggested me for this part was in my one-woman show that Larry had directed, I did a much older character, Aunt Marie, who was in her 80s. And so it was something I had done. So he thought, well, why not? That way, yeah, I'm in shape for real. So if I fall down the stairs, maybe I won't really break a hip,
Right.
which was a good thing. But I had to wear a lot of the makeup thing. Jay and I had to get there, I don't know, at least an hour earlier and blow dry something called fish skin onto our face with latex, and which made all these wrinkles. I could do the show now with a lot less makeup, but that's another story.
It's
Back
okay.
on the show tomorrow, no makeup.
When we were at Gus's, we actually had a dressing room and everybody met up, which made it a lot better because with Carmelita's, people were all kind of spread out all over.
Yeah.
But when we were at Gus's, we all kind of gathered and went, and I would always walk in and Jay and Denise would be blow drying their faces.
Her face.
Hey, how's it going?
It was a challenge though, because I had to be hunched over, which is not great for your back. And there's not an intermission. The only time that I could be invisible was my little trip to the bathroom. So like for a minute I could scratch and straighten up, you know. To this day I have bad posture. But that you had to stay in that physical character for that whole 2 hours.
Yes.
Which was a challenge, but you do it.
Yes. And what did you fall on?
On the dance floor?
Yes.
I just tripped on, I forget who I was dancing with, but I would just trip.
Joey.
Oh, was
Joey.
it Joey? Okay. So I would just trip over my own feet, I think, or he was going too fast or whatever for Grandma. And
Didn't you say like there was a piece of fat on the floor or
oh,
something?
that's right.
My
There's a
God.
piece of fat. They slip on a piece of fat. Sew it. That's right. And I blamed it on Vinnie Black. God, I'd forgotten that.
There was always a way to connect other people.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Larry. Piece of fat on the floor. Grandma's fallen.
Yes.
But it was,
Wow.
what was the music that I fell on? Celebrate.
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 Yeah.
And to this day, if I hear that music and that cue comes up, I'm like, I gotta fall. I gotta fall.
And till this day, whenever I direct a show, and I don't direct a show anymore, but I directed in London 2 years ago, I'm like, okay, in Celebrate, you slip on the fat when you hear this
I forgot
lyric.
about the fat. Oh my God.
Because we had a lyric, the band needed also to know so that the band could stop, so that we could say, Grandma Nunzio's dead.
She's not dead. She's not dead.
Right.
Yeah, that image of Mark turning around with one arm out. She's not dead.
Well, it's
Hysterical.
that perfect example of Tony always trying to say, this crazy family, it hasn't happened. They haven't imploded yet. They haven't imploded yet. So, and I think James Altuner was very good to Grandma.
Yes, yes. The girls
Dominic.
were wonderful to Grandma.
Yeah,
Yes, because they were on the Nunzio side.
right.
So they were good to Grandma. The bridesmaids, we're very nice, but
Yeah, I think that Nancy used to say something like, oh, God, she thinks like cheese.
Yeah.
Something really polite.
well, yeah, and all the bridesmaids would be polite to me, but it was only because I was there at the big party.
Right.
They could care less.
And then they could go out to the audience and tell them how they really felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, explain which cheese I smelled like. Feta. Smells like feta.
And how about Mrs. Vitale? How was she with you?
Well, she was always sweet to me.
Yeah.
Josephine was always sweet to me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got along.
Yeah. Was she good to you, Johnny?
Say not. She's, I think, dismissive, cordial, but hi, John, very nice. Slap on, very good, and then she just kind of walked away.
And then Susan,
Yes.
I was talking to her. She said, "Oh, Mrs. Vitale liked everybody."
She didn't like our family at all.
I said she didn't like anybody. She didn't like herself.
Yeah, right.
Kidding me?
We weren't good enough for her.
And I'd always loved that story. And, Concetta still does the show. And when I did in London, we didn't play the story, but I know that Grandma was in a travel trailer. She was in a trailer in the back when we got to LA, right? In a trailer in the back of the house with, what was the dog's name?
Pancho. Come by the house. I show you where we had to bury the dog. I would tell everybody when I got scraps of food that it was for my dog Pancho.
That still lived. That still lives now. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Pancho and the scraps of food. We had some grandmas would carry around tinfoil, a roll of tinfoil in
Yeah.
their purse. And they
Yeah,
would have
I had like a
Oh, I know.
baggie or something in my purse. You're gonna eat that bread?
Oh yeah, the bread was
You're gonna eat that bread?
constant.
Yes, the bread. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
So
boy.
funny.
Fantastic.
And Eli, I always think of Johnny as somebody who, by the end of the evening, he had kind of become a nunzio. He had faced his destiny. Was that true? It's how I always seem to remember it.
Yeah, at the end, it was not for the fighting in the final picture, it would just kind of devolve and everyone went back to their corners. So there wasn't a lot of reaching out between sides. I mean, we said goodbye to Tony and we said, okay, this is it. This is this.
This is
and then I
war.
just kind of, and I just retreated back into Dominic pretty much. Yeah. Just kind of me and Dominic went off and said goodbye and
Yeah.
checking on grandma and like what the next step was. Yeah. So there wasn't a great big coming together at the end in my memory and the feelings at the end of the shows that I remember.
Yeah, it was not sweet.
No.
As Michael Winther and Kia sang New York, New York. And the music in that original version was very different than anything that's really used today. There are a couple of things like Celebrate.
Desperado, is that still in it?
Desperado's still in there, but we did the conga line to Dancing in the Dark, Bruce Springsteen's. I don't know if you remember that, Dancing in the Dark, but that became Hot, Hot, Hot. Also because it was so many different locations. And I guess for some reason, I don't really know why the hell it was changed, to be honest.
Lord, what did something?
Well, and then eventually we stopped doing the Tarantella and we started doing YMCA, which I don't think we did YMCA originally in New York. We did the Tarantella and these Marigans, they want to do a YMCA.
On the tour, we do all of them.
Right.
You take deli, the Hava Nagila, you do, and then that goes into YMCA.
Yes, yes. And then just to move a little bit forward to Los Angeles, because Eli has one of my favorite comments, I think, in LA when, I don't know when this happened, we were doing improv and he said, we got LA'd. It was like he had been waiting to say this line. Okay. Don't know exactly.
That's a Johnny line.
Yeah, totally.
There was a line I remember when there was a fire. We had a fire department issue because of the number of people at the
in LA.
at the Park Plaza. Yeah, in the LA
Plaza.
hotel, Park Plaza. So we had to stop. I don't know. The show may not have gone on, but we were in the kind of a cocktail room trying to bide time, and it was kind of the grooms, me, James, Mark, and Mark, trying to figure out what are we doing. And I remember saying out loud that Mark Nasser thought was very funny. I said, man, if we had this wedding in New York, this problem would have been solved $500 ago.
Oh, yeah. Brilliant.
I think we went on with that show, but we did have restrictions after that. We were allowed to have a certain amount of people there because Doug Urbanski and Joe Corcoran would have absolutely had the rules correct.
Right. Yeah.
No, not really.
But of course, in LA also, we had to have off-duty LAPD walk Mr. Nunzio, Madeline, and I around the building of Park Plaza to our entrance because there were so many. And somebody came up and snatched the chain, I think, from Chris's neck. It was either Chris or Madeline.
Whoa.
Pulled it off and ran, and we said, "It's fake, fake."
Oh my gosh.
It was an interesting choice to do the show down there because it was a fantastic space.
Fantastic.
But it was the wild, wild LA, for sure.
Waiting outside was, I got a jaywalking ticket. That was funny. And then the cops came out. The cops that worked for us came out and started laughing at me. Oh, you got a jaywalk. I said, yeah, where were you guys trying to help? But there was one moment we were there waiting to go in, and a homeless guy came up and bummed a cigarette off one of the guys, and we're talking. And it turns out this guy was in Apocalypse Now.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, I was in I work with Francis. And I remember James looking at him and goes, what part did you play? He goes, I was the guy that said, they asked me who's in charge. And I just look at him. And then I walk away. And James Altoona went, oh my God, that is you. You were in that movie.
Oh.
LA story, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
loved him.
All that stuff all around the outside going in was nuts.
Oh yeah.
We're right across from MacArthur Park, which has been known to hang out for whatever.
Yeah, and we'd hear gunshots
illegal
all the time.
Yes.
Just guys shooting off guns in the air.
Ugh.
There's a crack house up the street. Yeah,
Oh my God.
for real.
Yeah, it really was. I don't know why they chose that area, but it was a fantastic room.
It was a great room, yeah.
And for a year, people came. So did you all do the whole run?
I did.
You
Yeah.
did.
I left right before the end of it.
Have your friendships with people in the show continued? How do you feel that that show set you in life in terms of friends?
I am going to Solvang next weekend with Randall Thropp and Elizabeth Herring. We meet for breakfast routinely. And Carolyn Scott, I saw in Canada when I was on tour with another show. And it was like not a minute had passed.
Yes.
We spent all day together. Then I would go to her house on my time off and visit. And it was great. And
Yeah.
I saw Eli on Zoom not long ago because we were doing a reading on Zoom together.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
And Denise came to New York a couple of years ago, and I saw about it. I saw it on Facebook, which has been actually really good to keep these friendships
Yes.
alive.
Yeah.
And I invited myself to her little party. So I met her after her show. We went to Sardi's and we caught up there. But Sue and Jay are in New York. I see them occasionally. Liz Dennehy pops in every now and then. Carolyn Scott's come to New York, and I've gone out with her a few times.
Yeah.
I went to San Francisco and saw Mark Nasser out there.
Yeah.
I was so young at that time. I was like 5 years younger than everybody else.
Yeah, you were the youngest.
So I had a lot of older sisters and brothers. So it's
yeah,
It was great.
get choked up. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, my
connection.
relationship with Mark Nasser, he's like my older brother, and more than anybody else I've ever known.
Yeah.
James Altuner is like my brother. Mark Campbell and I were very close. The four of us together it was a relationship that I have not rekindled, and I have fond memories of that entire time. We had, little disagreements along the way, but ultimately I loved every one of them, and it's an amazing time I look back on. And I look back on it and I go, that wasn't me. Who was that? I have these memories of, and I feel like that wasn't me in there because so much has transpired, but I look and I go, no, that's me in the picture. That's me. So the relationships have been incredible. And saying goodbye in LA was incredibly emotional. And the times I can get together in New York, I don't travel that much. So people come to New York, and if we can get together, it's great. And just getting a comment here and there on a Facebook post, just fills my heart and gives
Yes.
me a smile. It's just amazing.
Well, Eli is actually in our family album because when he left LA and was driving to New York, he had car trouble. He broke
Very
down.
bad.
And Oklahoma City, which is where where I'm from, where my family was living, is on Route 66. So you go right through it. So he stayed at the house. And of course, my parents document anybody who came to the house. Take pictures. So if you were ever at the house, it's in the
Incredibly
family
generous.
Oh, I would love to have met them.
They were such wonderful people. I look back on that horrible trip back east. But look at,
Did you go by yourself back home?
I bought a crappy car out there, and it was great in LA. And then I asked a friend of mine to fly out from New York to drive back with me. And we made it as far as Yucca, Arizona, when my piston blew a hole in it. And I spent a week there.
God.
So me and my friend spent a week at a motel on Route 15 in Yucca, Arizona, waiting for this part to come in. And he eventually had to go back to New York. So he left and flew, and I drove home by myself in this crappy car that was barely fixed. And thank God I could stay in Oklahoma with your parents, because it was a nightmare.
I love that.
People felt so bad for me in LA, they took up a collection and sent me money. Tom Allen, on his way back, stopped off at the motel I was staying at, and I came out, and I was just like gaunt. And he goes, "Whoa!"
Oh my God.
It was horrible. I should have flew back, left the car there. No, but anyway.
Eli, you just had to get that car back home.
Was an
It was
adventure.
the dumbest thing I've ever done.
And who did you drive out there with?
Tom.
Oh, with Tom, yeah.
Tom Allen, yeah. I would like make him stop at places, and he's like, "Can we just drive?" And like, "No, there's the Kansas City Royals play there. Let's stop." "Oh, hey, it's the Grand Canyon." And we're like, "Just drive."
Tom. Oh, crank.
He ultimately said, "Oh, this is a nice stop." I said, "Yeah, see, Greg."
Denise, how did you get there?
I flew. Are you
Thank
kidding me?
God.
I packed some bags and I flew. I was coming out anyway for my best friend's wedding. So I just came out early and got a place at that hotel where everybody stayed. What was that on Franklin?
The Highland Gardens.
The Highland Gardens, right, where Janis Joplin met her.
Where she met her end.
Right.
Yes.
But yeah, so I just came early and stayed there.
I love that place.
I stayed there the whole time.
Oh, you
I
did,
go
Eli?
by that place
Yeah.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You stayed there the whole time?
Yeah, I stayed there until I left. Yeah. Well, the Janis Joplin died there. The place next to us was the Chateau Marmont, where John Belushi bought it.
Oh man.
And then the other side was the Magic Castle, which I never went to because I didn't want to know who died over there. So.
Right.
Right. Absolutely.
Because for sure they're still there. Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
This is a drawing I got from, you could see, Denise did it,
Oh my gosh.
of like everybody in the cast. And this is mine.
Oh.
And I had a little, if you could see, a little blue and white kerchief or something. I think I still have that in my house somewhere, but I was trying to find it this morning and I couldn't. But I did have this. So Denise made these little caricatures for everybody in the show, and I still have mine.
Oh,
my
Yeah.
gosh.
So that's
Well,
me.
That
Dancing.
is
so sweet.
I spent a lot, and I think at Easter I made an Easter egg for everybody. Well,
Yes.
Grandma did.
Grandma.
I still have some stuff too. I still have my Tony and Tina.
Oh, you have, that's the
Oh, I
original
want
t-shirt. Yes.
one.
And I still have my Tony and Tina jacket.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Has my initials, because you don't want people in LA to know your name or in New York to know your name, because you never know who they are. Right.
Oh,
I do still have my Tony and Tina umbrella. I didn't bring it with me because it's huge.
There was a Tony and Tina umbrella. How did I miss that
Umbrella.
swag?
It was like a golf.
There's no swag. There was no swag by the 2000s, just so we're all clear.
Oh, there was a lot of swag. I have all of these. I have a coin from Las Vegas, a slot, the
We
slot
did-
coin.
Yeah. We
Is it-
had hats
Oh,
too.
that's fun.
Right.
We had
And
hats.
hats and shot glasses.
Shot
and-
glasses. Yeah.
Shot glasses. I have a bunch of those.
New York,
No.
no, but Vegas, they had to have something.
Loving.
But in Las Vegas, to go around, and it was only a couple of tables that used the Tony and Tina coins, whatever they were. But
Yeah.
we did find them finally, and they were playing poker or something with them. And
Yeah. We had I don't know what it's called, but whatever the tabletops of the playing tables too, were
Right.
some of them were Tony and Tina.
yeah.
I don't know where those ended up, but
Well, that's one of the fascinating things that I think are about this show, and that is nobody ever wrote a book about it. But there was never a documentary, which it would be great. And some of that stuff is probably available. A lot of it's been lost. But, to capture some of that history, and were there rough times? Yes. But overall, the fact that people still talk to one another and that there was this wonderful history created, I just think is an amazing accomplishment for our lifetimes. And I'm heading 70 plus, so I want to make sure we get this in.
Right. I'm 117.
You look so fantastic.
In character. I am Grandma 24/7, so I'm 117. And I've met actors from other Tony and Tina incarnations that I never worked with, but I'm friends with them. So, and of course, I have my package that Rick Miramontes, our publicist out here, gave us all this big package with all of the reviews.
Yeah.
So much publicity. I mean, Rick was the best. Rick
Yeah.
and Kenny were the best because we had how many? It was celebrities every show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Every show. And that Funicello, for heaven's sake.
Yes. Annette came. She was, I know.
Frankie Avalon came like 10 times, and he brought somebody new
Wow.
every time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Frankie
He brought
L.
Mannix. He brought Mike Connors
Yes,
Mannix.
yes.
I mean, it was
Faye Dunaway
Faye
came.
Dunaway.
Yeah.
I have a picture of Jack Klugman in there with us.
Oh, wow.
my
I think
God.
that's the only
Elizabeth
celebrity.
Montgomery,
Oh, yeah.
David Lee Roth.
Yes, David Lee Roth.
Wow, what a mixed bag. That's so
I
fantastic.
know, currency Tony and Tina, right?
It was
And
so,
Kirk Douglas.
and Kirk
Yeah, I've
Douglas.
seen that picture.
Yeah.
Kirk Douglas, there are photos of him. Do you remember the person who cooked in LA?
Oh, who was that? Remind Grandma. Grandma don't remember.
And nobody can remember her name. Do you
I don't-
remember her with the big glasses?
I
God,
don't remember.
Not at all.
Somebody will jiggle
Somebody
that
will,
loose from
yeah.
somebody's brain.
'Cause
Ev-
remember,
every-
Grandma's like 107 now or whatever.
Yeah, right.
You gotta find someone who
117.
did improv in the kitchen.
You know, a lot of pasta was eaten.
To this day, a lot of pasta is eaten.
Was it good food
I couldn't
in
eat
LA?
pizza
forget
for
what
like
you
2
guys
years.
said.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Baked ziti, never again, never.
Never-
And my
never
parents
had it.
from Oklahoma, who the only pasta they know is spaghetti. So when they came to New York to see the show, and I told them, I said, "No, Mother, don't eat anything before because there's going to be ziti." And she said, "Now what? What is this ziti business?" You know, there's macaroni and spaghetti, then there's ziti. Okay. She had no idea, never heard of it. Because it didn't come in a can. You know, you couldn't buy it at the grocery store in a can. So she didn't know it.
Yeah, and I think Rick had a huge article. Rick Miramontes had somehow got a huge article about the making of that food. I think with Vinny,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
all of these photographs. He was great. Yes.
We did I'm sure you guys remember. I don't know if our two new friends remember, but we did that AIDS kind of quasi telethon.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
And Denise was able to take off the latex and do a bunch of, she had a couple of characters that she was doing. And we all were able to work together and branch out and do different things over the course of a 24-hour show that we put together.
Yeah, we did 24 hours.
And
That's right.
unfortunately, the tapes for that got lost, the videos for those.
Oh, I have
really?
those.
You do?
I have them all here. They're still all on VHS. I've got to get them
mine.
Oh
transferred.
my God, I would
But
love
we brought in, Nancy knew somebody, Josh White, who did Jerry Lewis
Josh
telethons
White.
and helped us produce this thing. And we got media there early in the morning during the show. And there was we had good crowds in the beginning, and it got lean around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. A friend of mine came and stayed for the whole 24 hours. I remember that.
Whoa.
Another friend of mine named Mark came, and he was by himself, and he was there from the beginning to the end. Wow. And that was a lot of fun.
Jack Friss, I remember, played Andy Warhol. I don't know if you remember that.
I did a taped thing with him with that bit. I was sent out to cover a protest in Washington Square Park that we filmed earlier, but it was like a live cutaway.
Oh my God.
And we produced, let's go live to our reporter. And he was playing Andy in the room, and then they cut to my video of the reporting on this thing that didn't happen in the Washington Square Park. And I did something else with Mark. I was a rapper. Denise played this whole, like a cowgirl, or I think it was
and Mark Nasser was in it and some of the other guys.
they were inmates or something.
Yes, we were raising money for jeans for the prison rodeo, I think. And I was a country western singer. Randy Thropp was in it too. I was a country western singer, and I had a big blonde hairdo on and everything. But the prisoners wound up holding us at gunpoint and making us give them our jeans that we were wearing.
I've got these. I've got every hour.
Oh my
Josh put them all together for us and gave them to us. I actually just found them. So
Oh my God. Do we
I've
need
got
to
to
take up a collection to have you pay to get these converted?
They're $1,000 a film. Yeah, just if you can send.
And then we did things like that in LA too. We did a benefit choir or type up with people type of thing in LA.
Right. It was for the LA
The
Weekly
Lowies,
Award.
the Los
Yeah,
Angeles
right.
Weekly Awards. Right. Yeah, and so we were the award show. We gave the awards, but Sam Harris
Did it.
came and sang. It wasn't at the Star Search famous person.
Yeah, he was like their first one, yeah. Or one of the bigger ones, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The show got big enough that people wanted to see us do other things. And we were able to do those other things and branch out and still work together. So that was...
Yeah, that was lovely. That really was lovely.
It kept everything pretty fresh. And
because I think
exciting.
people really needed it by then. But in that, I know that Charles Busch was there because he was doing Vampire Lesbians of Sodom in Los Angeles. I know I was in charge of Tina Louise because she was going to give our last award, but she left. So I was like, what am I going to do? And I was like, Charles. And he's like, I've always wanted to stand in for Tina Louise. So Charles gave the last award because Tina Louise was like, listen, I've got this boyfriend and, I just got to go to, she left like 2 minutes before the final award.
Oh my gosh.
A date is a date.
A date is a date. And I'm sure the show was going long. The other thing that we used to do, and I don't know if this tradition was ever really carried on to any other groups, but whenever somebody in the original company had a birthday, afterward, there was a whole play and presentation created honoring that person in some way.
I remember Carolyn Scott and we kept our old age makeup on, but we did, I can't remember whose birthday it was for, why we were doing this, but we did a female wrestling thing.
Oh, that's fantastic.
She'd go, Grandma Nunzio, I challenge you here and now.
Right.
Like we were in the ring and I challenge you, whatever her name was. And I was in it, but all the makeup was still on.
So, there was this ability to play and show your talent other than in the play itself. And we tried to provide that, but it was fun. It was really, really fun.
It was great fun. It was great fun.
Yeah. It was a long time ago and it just does not seem possible. So,
no, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's amazing to know where those traditional beats or backstory moments like Pancho and the Leftovers and Snowball and things like that, where they came from. I don't know, doing the show so many years after the fact, like I started 20 years after the original cast, right? So I don't know, there's some dilution that happens there and you don't really know where things come from, except now they're in the script. Now they've been scripted and written down. So you assume maybe a writer did that, not that there's a fellow actor out there who created that for generations later. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I think that Chris brought in the dollar dance because he had some Mexican friends, because he lived on the border of California and Mexico, or down there, wherever he was from, on a farm, on a ranch. And I think that he had seen it. I mean, I had seen it before at where my family did it was where there was 2 5-gallon coffee cans with a hole in the top, and you put the dollars in there. It was not pinning the dollars. It wasn't the glorifying of the saint. Okay, so because that's what theirs kind of was. But I'm sure a lot of Tony and Tina's got stuck with pins.
Oh, yes, I can vouch for that. Absolutely.
And then
try to shove it
what
down
happened to all those dollars? What happened to all those dollars after the dance?
The dollars,
Somebody would just come up and take them from out of your clothes and you saw them.
But if you remember, the dollars got kept. We always kept all the dollars, and it became our own money that we would then pay for something for, like we were going to do the Lowies, or we did that other party at one of the clubs. Thank you very much for being here.
It's great. It's great seeing you, Larry. I saw Larry. You were so helpful to me back then because I was so stupid and so young, and like everybody was an actor. I wasn't, and you shepherded me along and taught me quite a bit about performing and being present and being a good person. So I never thanked you, and I wanted to thank you.
Eli, thank you so much. Well, you were a great person to work with for that. And Denise, I want to thank you for turning me into a good person.
Wow.
especially with Denise, it was such a wonderful thing in Tony and Tina's wedding when you had a friend that you loved and admired, and then they could come into the show. You know, you were that for me. Joanna Coca was my friend. I had known Joanna Coca for years. And so bringing these kinds of people in, of course, I also brought people in who didn't make the cut. A couple of them were in for a while, and then Nancy's like, out the door. So, but that happened. And I don't think that this company, and certainly either one of you, ever settled for anything other than what was the best. And that's what separated all of us, I think, from sometimes some of the other interactive shows, not the Tony and Tina's, but the other interactive shows that were out there. They didn't have the history. And this was not a show that was put up in a 1-week rehearsal.
Not at all.
This show was developed over a long amount of time.
And developed is really the word. It was developed.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
And everybody had their part in it. It wasn't like, okay, now you do this and now you do that.
Yes.
It all came out of organically what we improv'd. And there might have been a few things. Now you need to do that on this cue. For the
Yeah, well, there was a timeline that I think that people came in, but that timeline also changed, you know, because we finally, after I think I had directed 3 shows, I was like, you guys, we got to get a timeline.
Well, an interesting interactive since Tony and Tina's, because I had done Tony and Tina's, now people go, oh, we'll put Denise in to do that. When we were on tour with I Love Lucy live on stage, the concept was that it's 1951 or 1952 at the Desilu Studios, no matter where we were playing, whether it was Toronto or out here in LA. But my character, one of the 5 characters I played, would go out into the audience as they were coming in and mingle in character for an hour. So it's like, well, put Denise out there with 2,000 people. Let her do this.
Yeah.
She knows how to work the room.
Yeah.
But I would never have done that without doing Tony and Tina's wedding.
Mm-hmm.
And then I helped develop, we did Little Women, the ballet, but it was interactive in these Victorian homes out here in LA. And a scene would take place in each house. And they weren't sure how to do that. And I went, I can tell you. I can tell you how to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that interactive aspect, which I had never done before Tony and Tina's, has followed me forever. The show was so groundbreaking when we did it. It was not something that was being done yet.
Absolutely. It was the first one.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. And we got a lot of attention for that. Now, a lot of people are doing it, but we were the originators.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's all talk soon, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you both. Denise,
Thank you.
Eli, thank you.
Such a pleasure.
Okay,
Great seeing you guys.
All right.
All right.
La
Okay.
familia.
La familia.
Out the way.
In this episode's Pictures for the Album segment, Larry chats with Amy Lord. Enjoy.
Well, hello there, Amy. Amy Lord. Do you still go by Amy Lord?
It's still me.
Amy, it is so good to see you. Last week, I was talking to Sal Marino, who played your Tony in the Philadelphia production of Tony and Tina's Wedding, and he just adores you. And
I adore him.
I know that the two of you had a really great relationship, and it showed in that play. Let's first talk about Philadelphia. So how did you hear about it? How did you get involved with that play?
I mean, I was in New York. I was auditioning and knew Tony and Tina's, and I think I knew some people in it. And then somebody said, go down to Philly because they're going to open up a Philly cast. And I was like, okay. And I drove my little Ford Festiva or some boyfriend's car at the time. And I did get into a car accident. I do remember that on some bridge. Of course I did.
Of course.
And auditioned, and it was a long audition process. I remember it was at Toronto's, the restaurant. I remember hanging out on the corner. But I do remember there was a girl there who was from my neighborhood in Brooklyn. I didn't know her, but she really was aggressive, like, and kind of threatening a little bit to me. So already I was like, are you going to start with me? Because don't start with me. Because I will put you down. And then like run back.
Yeah, and we had like a
Remember that?
3-day audition
It was a
process.
long time.
Amy, the authenticity though of that group was extraordinary, plus the place, the venue,
Yeah.
and the locale.
It was perfect.
So much
The
fun.
improv with me as Tina breaking up with Michael Just with Joe. Joe still talks about that.
Aw.
Like he does when we went out to dinner. I mean, his eyes got all welled up, teary. I was like, okay.
You've always had that way with men,
Oh yes.
you know. But it was a very naive group of performers who gave it their heart.
We were all so committed. This was our first big show.
Yes.
You
Yeah, and we
know,
didn't really know how big it would be there, which it was. It
it
was,
was. Yeah, tons of press and media and interviews, and it was a lot.
yeah. And
It
you all
was.
handled that very well.
We were guided very well. I mean, hats off to everybody on the producing team. Howard was great. Howard really had an open door policy. You know, remember the office was
Yep.
upstairs? Yeah, I mean, it really was true to life with all the relationships and the arguments. I mean, there was a lot
Totally.
of drama.
Totally. And the police coming in to look for somebody who had killed some gangster one
The guy,
night.
the mob guy, yeah, it was the real deal.
It was. You know, in New York, it became real tourist oriented as time went on. First, of course, there was at that time all the people who were really like Tony and Tina's family when they came.
Yeah.
And they're like, this isn't that funny.
No, because that's their. But
Right?
you know what, though? That was also the beauty of our company. I mean, I love Tina, my Tina. I will never forget my dad coming down to see the show. I said, Daddy, what'd you think? And he goes, I loved it. I loved it. I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, I was watching you.
Of course.
But you know what? That was like, listen, I love Tina. You know, that was the beauty of the casting.
Yes. Yeah. And then we shoot ahead to Los Angeles.
Mm.
I want to say 15 years later, and Howard's producing the show at the Henry Fonda Theater. I don't know how it came that we even thought about, or maybe you came and you're like, I'm going to play Maddie. I mean, I don't know what it was, but
I remember doing an improv in the lobby there with you, something about shaving my legs. You know what? That's part of the missing of, that's what I said to you the other day. I said, I could do Maddie, I could do Mom. I said, bring me
you
back
would be
in.
you would be a great Mrs. Vitale.
I
But
would
your,
love to.
but your Maddie was fun,
It's a different Maddie. You know,
sexy. I always remember that the producers from Las Vegas, Rafael Burko and Jeff
oh, he's,
Gitlin, always say that your performance and who you were in that production was really what made them say, I want to do this show.
Raphael always says that to me.
Yeah. I mean, you were captivating and what you were doing was contagious. So talk to me about the difference of playing those two characters.
I think there was an age difference. You know, when I was Maddie, I had two of my own children already. Was going through a divorce. I was more Maddie than Tina, just because life, it's life. You know, being Tina down there in Philly, I was so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and I fell head over heels in love with Sal. But I think for the most part, we really were on our game, and we were so young. We were so learning. It was a lot of learning.
Yeah. And for me as well, Amy, because I was learning at that time how to speak to people and to get what I needed to get across and to have people continue to trust me because, you know, a lot of times people don't, who the hell really likes a director? Okay. They just go tell you what to do. But I was really learning my skill at that point too. And it was great when I was able to use it and then see results because the companies would stretch and grow and get big and broad. And then I'd come in and I'd kind of pull it back in and reshape it, but not without all of that growth that company had, because that's how Tony and Tina's Wedding became Tony and Tina's Wedding, is through all of that growth. It's been a remarkable journey. Okay, so then you're in Los Angeles, which is so different than Philly.
So different.
And we were in a theater where we covered all the seats.
Covered the seats and made it that's really incredible.
Do you remember any difference, the way you would think the difference would be in audiences in the two cities?
Oh, I think in the East Coast vibe, even in Philly, is very different than the LA.
Yeah.
LA loved it. LA loved it. It's just a different energy. It's a calmer energy.
It is.
Sure.
It's calmer in LA. I prefer the show in, like, I loved it in Philadelphia. I loved it in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's a really great theater city. So what show are you talking about maybe doing in New York?
I had a show that ran out in LA called Club Disco. I think that New York is ready for a disco show. People love disco. People of a certain age love disco.
Yep. Yeah. And disco, now you could really bring it back, because now it's really nostalgic.
It is nostalgic.
Yep.
It is.
Amy, thank you so much for doing
Oh
this.
my God, this was so fun.
Tony and Tina's Wedding, Creating a Theater Tribe, is a production of Virtual Arts. If you like this episode, please make sure to like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. And join us over on Instagram to see photos and archival materials related to the episodes. Join us next episode for our conversation with Michael Winther and Kia Colton, all about Donnie Dolce and fusion.